Hi, folks. Today I'd like to just share something interesting, a reflection. And that is about my first time that I landed into United States of America. My port of entry was the beautiful city of San Francisco, its airport. And the reflection is about something very interesting, and that is courtesy. Courtesy and to some degree sense of civic responsibility, or something that we call as civic sense. So here it goes. A couple of friends were there to receive me from the airport, and as I met them, as I was through my uh, paperwork and stuff, you know I was going back with my friends. They had come to pick me, and I had to go back to their apartment with them. So, for those of you who have seen the San Francisco airport, and I don't know what whether it has changed fundamentally or not, the layout. But for international flights, at least the lounge that I had disembarked um, from that point, the path to the car parking basically is you had to cross a single road in order to go from the airport lounge, the waiting area, to the car park. So what I clearly remember is that my friends, probably they were a few steps ahead of me, and I was behind them talking about something. And while I was about to cross the road, it's my habit that I wait and I look left, I look right, and if no car is coming, then I proceed with caution. And that, I believe, is what everybody should do. Um, the very interesting thing that happened is that I did the same over there. And I looked left and I looked right, and I could see that a couple of cars are coming from the right. So I waited. I waited for them, to go ahead to clear the road so that I can pass freely. But then something very interesting happened. The cars, they did not even move. They just stopped before me. I had not even motioned to them to stop at all. They just stopped. And that is something that I could not understand at the time, because even though I have had a fair amount of international travel experience, um, but back home in Pakistan, more often than not, the practice is that it's in everybody's self-interest. When you're crossing the road, you look left and right, and um, keep yourself safe. And if there's any car coming in the uh, you can see a car in the frame of your eyes, then you better let it go, lest you get crushed or something. And that's there's good reason to behave that way, because uh, such is the behavior of the drivers, basically. More often than not, there are always exceptions. So I was very, very surprised. All of the cars, they just stopped. And for a couple of minutes, just nothing happened. I stood there waiting for them to move. They stood there waiting for me to cross the road, and I could not understand what the hell is going on. And then one of the car drivers, the guy who was, in the front of the queue, which had formed by then, he honked the horn and gestured me to, cross the road. And he could not understand why I am not crossing the road. Uh, Car honking, as you know, is a fairly serious thing in San Francisco, at least, and in most of the urban United States. So you don't honk your car horn unless there is good reason to, unless there somebody has done a real mistake. So knowing this, my friend, he looked back and he motioned to me to just cross the road. And I did. I thanked the guys, waved to them for waiting, for letting me cross the road. And then I crossed the road and I was with my friends. And then my friends, I asked them, what the hell was that? Uh, and then they told me that I forget the details, but maybe some of it has to do with the right of uh, the pedestrian in order of priority, that if a pedestrian is crossing the road and if at certain points they have priority. But clearly that was not the only reason. There were no cops standing there, there was nobody to enforce it, nothing at all. Those people wanted to stop themselves. They really wanted, they had this coming from inside them. They wanted me, a passenger, to cross the road first. And that can only happen if you have a sense of basic courtesy, civic responsibility inculcated in the citizens, at least in the majority of the citizens. So I was reflecting on it and I thought that basic courtesy, human decency, um, empathy, civic sense, these are all good things. They make us better human beings, they make better communities, whether it's at a small scale or at a large scale. That is what happens. And that's a very nice thing that happened. And there's a reason I remember it even today, um, 20 years after the incident happened. Hence this reflection. All right, folks, have a good day. Bye.